Hello, everybody. Paul Jones. I'm the Chief Digital Information Officer here at the Trust. I think we've only got one thing reporting out today, which is the upgrade to SCRIK, our digital dictation platform. Guy, I can see you're online. Do you want to lead off for us?
Yes. Thanks, Paul. Good afternoon, everybody. So delighted to be here. I think it's the third time in the last 4 weeks we've been to report out to talk about some of the projects we in DIT have delivered and system upgrades we've gone live with recently. So I'm really pleased to be able to talk about the recent upgrade we've done to the ePro SCRIK solution. This is part of the Trust's clinical correspondence solution, works alongside WinScript and Dragon. So I'm delighted that Rob Child from the Programme Delivery Office and Lima Vernon, the project manager, are here today. So they're going to take us through what this project is all about, the nature of the upgrade, why it's so important, and the fact it's actually gone live a matter of weeks ago. So Rob and Lima, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, over to Lima. Really, it's she's led this project. So Lima.
Hi, afternoon, everyone. I'm talking about the digital dictation upgrade to SCRIK. I'm actually enjoying the project about two months ago, where I took over from Gavin Cahill. But if we can go to the first slide, just about the background, please. Okay, so Leeds Teaching Hospital uses a combination of ePro Clinical Correspondence, a desktop application, and the WinScribe Digital Dictation and Dragon Medical SR to produce letter correspondence across all areas of the Trust. And there are approximately 4,000 users in the Trust, and ePro is the main front-end application providing letter creation to providing clinical correspondence. So ePro is the main front-end application providing letters, and it's subcontracted to WinScribe and Bluewire. It turned out that WinScribe and Bluewire terminated their working arrangements and had separate products for speech recognition and the front-end application for correspondence. So in September 2019, the Trust decided to do an upgrade and refresh to the current systems, as the version that was in use, version 16.07, was unsupported, and they decided to move to a single integrated solution and upgrade WinScribe to the new SCRIK application. The Trust had no formal agreement for support, which is obviously a major issue. If there was a system failure, they'd have to revert to paper, and that would be a significant clinical risk if clinical correspondence was missed. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'll just go over the project team and key correspondence. So the senior responsible owner is Paul Jones, and the clinical sponsor is Andy Webster, and clinical safety officer for the project is Victoria Faint, and the senior user is Andy Webster. We've been working with ePro as part of the project team, so Francesca Leithold and myself as being project manager. We're working with a number of stakeholders across DIT, so that included Julianne, Gareth Turton. Gareth Turton's the system administrator who'd been working closely with to do most of the testing for the project, Jason Clark, Ian Tasker, Matt Whelan, Martin Moore, Sarah Eastwood, Ian Manshaw, Claire Green from training, and Heather Bradley from service delivery. On to the next slide, please. So the scope of the project, it's being done in two phases. So the first phase, which we implemented over the April weekend, so it was April the 23rd and 24th and 23rd and 24th. So as I said, it was in two phases. And the first phase was an upgrade and the associated activities. So a new server was installed, we upgraded to 20.7. The clinical correspondence was transitioned to SCRIK, and SCRIK change trainer and been taking place, and the 4,200 licenses were taken over. Phase 2 will be the SCRIK Squish On, which is starting from now, which we're in a planning phase for. The pilot in the CSUs, rollout and implementation in CSUs, user training, and the decommission of WinScribe. Over to the next slide, please. So here's a high-level plan. As you can see, these are some of the parts of work that we've been taking place. So phase 1, as I was talking through before, so the infrastructure and system preparation, test rehearsals, UAT, which was undertaken by Gareth, upgrade to production and the preparation of training is in phase 1. These are all the pieces of work that took place for the go live on the 24th 23rd and 24th of April. And then we move over, as you can see now, into phase 2, where we're planning for the rollout of and switch on of the SCRIK digital dictation. On to the next slide, please. And so the implementation, as I mentioned, the phase 1 implementation took place on the 23rd and 24th of April. ePro was unavailable and down from 6 o'clock on the 23rd of April. And the key stakeholders worked together to through a detailed implementation plan to deploy the new infrastructure. Deploy the new infrastructure. It was tested and upgraded the ePro calculation from 16.4 to 20.7. ePro 20.7 went live for users at 7 o'clock on the 24th of April. And this is just sort of a very basic high level what we went through. So the database backup, business continuity testing, deployment to a new infrastructure, and full end-to-end testing, but which was done by Gareth, sign off, and then communication that ePro was available. Onto the next slide, please. And so the benefits of the upgrade to SCRIK. So as I mentioned, there was an upgrade of server infrastructure from Windows 2008, which was going out of service, to Windows 2016. An upgrade from ePro 16.4 to 20.7, the current supported version, and an upgrade of the training, test, and live environments. And we're moving on to phase 2 now. So the replacement of WinScribe, which is unsupported, and we'll have SCRIK and the integrated digital dictations. And so it'll be a solution that's integrated from a single supplier, which will be ePro and Bluewire, and it will provide improved stability, speed, improved workflow, and user experience for transcription and dictation of letters. And yeah, that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Lima. That's fantastic. I think this is just one more situation where we've got software that's really important, used across the trust, but isn't actually on a supported platform anymore. And moving things onto a platform that is supported, is reliable, is robust, is absolutely critical. Andy Webster, I noticed you were on. Could you give us kind of a clinical perspective of the importance of this project?
Yeah, I suppose there's two things really. There's reliability issues with ePro that sometimes people find it was crashing and kind of aborting halfway through patient lists, and also kind of a lot of kind of the wheel of doom when applications were when people are trying to dictate and run through clinics. So moving on to new supported infrastructure should provide a quicker service, a more kind of efficient service, but also it does open new opportunities for us. So when we roll out SCRIK, it's going to be a completely web-based platform. So clinicians will be able to dictate clinics just using the SCRIK platform without having to load WinScribe, and it does allow them to kind of work on their own machines at home potentially, whereas before they'd have to dictate onto a kind of a handheld audio device and then get their audio uploaded to the secretary when they came in. So the audio could be kind of captured at home, especially when we think about clinics being delivered virtually as well. So that offers a significant benefit. And then the next phase we're hoping to deliver at some point, we're actually offering front-end speech transcription. So enable clinicians to see the text being produced as they're kind of dictating it, which allow them to see the letters in real time, correct, and reduce that approval process much quicker.
Thanks, Andy. So I'll just open up briefly for any questions. If anybody would like to pop their hand up, or obviously you can put something in the comments if you like. Tony?
Hello, Paul. Just wonder if somebody could comment on how and whether the improvements which flow from this will be perceptible to patients.
Andy, you're probably best placed to kind of respond to that, yeah.
I guess that if we've got a system that enables clinicians to work more quicker, then it should allow us to turn around letters much more quickly. So the trust have a time where they should turn letters around within 5 days. And I think it's a little bit inefficient, the previous process. So the new system, because it's quick and also allows people to work from home, should be allowed to improve that turnaround and just improve the user experience as well. I suppose the underlying functionality isn't going to change too much. It just gives us a little bit more freedom in how we design our templates, and it does offer possibilities about distributing letters electronically to patients potentially in the future. That could be a later phase.
Yeah, I suspected that was sort of the the pattern, but I thought it needed to be marked up because at the end of the day, that's why we're doing it, isn't it? But it's great, wonderful.
Yeah. All of our letters currently get sent out by post, and hopefully in the future we're going to have more efficient means of delivering to patients.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Thanks, Andy. I mean, like I say, everything we're doing is really focused around providing that service to our clinical colleagues so they can provide an even better service to the patients who come through. And part of that is about making sure that things are robust and resilient, and that, you know, colleagues can be confident that the system is going to be there, and it's not going to just, you know, sat waiting for the spinning wheel of doom, I think, as Jimmy's described it. So I don't think there's any more questions come through. Let me just pass my thanks on to the whole team for doing that. I know it was a real group effort again. You know, fantastic step forward for us. You know, chipping away at the bits of the IT infrastructure that need chipping away at. So appreciate it, all your efforts along that. Thank you everyone for joining us for Report Out this week. And as you can see, our next Report Out is next Friday on at 12:30, same time, same place. Hopefully see many of you there. Thanks everyone. Have a great weekend. Take care.